All right, everyone, welcome to another pilot episode. Really excited to bring this to you all, to everyone out there watching on Twitch, on YouTube, on our Facebook. Thank you all so much for joining. I'm really excited to introduce these three amazing makers to the community here. So let me unmute them all so that they can say hi. Don't know if they were having a little private conversation there, so let's bring them on stage. Hello and welcome to Community Maker Interview. I'm going to go from the order that I see from sort of top to bottom. So top corner for me is Scotty Shaw. Scotty, can you give 1 minute about Scotty Shaw? Why are you here today, Scotty?
I'm here because for the past several years, I've been running hackathons all over the US. And then I decided to go back to where I grew up, which is Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Texas, and launch hackathons and mentor students on how to do that. And then with the pandemic, I'd already launched hackathons for every major school. So I thought, all right, now it's time to go online, start reaching out who across the nation wants to create their own hackathons, high school or college. And then specifically right now, I'm working on the Civic Code, which is a series of events culminating in a hackathon focusing on HBCU students and underprivileged students. And we want to empower them so they can impact civil rights with tech.
Awesome. That is amazing. And so you mentioned the Civic Code, and that's kind of going to be our theme for the entire interview series. So let's come the counterclockwise from my screen is Dunni. Dunni, tell us a little bit about yourself and why you are here today on Community Maker Interview.
So I'm a current junior in Chicago Math and Science Academy. Over the course of the past few years of my life, I've been into the world of tech and trying to see what I can do after I graduate high school and see what my plans are for college. And through that, I've gone to these programs. I've seen a lot of things. I've been interested in a lot of things. I've done a lot of things, and I've been in different environments, and the most thing that I've noticed is that people of my color, I haven't really seen them around those things, those selective programs and stuff like that. And I've always tried to because I have a brother who he really helped me understand the outside world, and not showed me, but kind of guide me towards what I need to do. And I feel I owe it to my community to do the same. So yeah.
Awesome. I always love that, and I have to say, Scotty's bringing the years of experience, and then Dunni here, fresh out of the gates, excited to dive in, and it's so great to bring you both together. And I know that you're working, and I'm excited to see in a little bit hear about any mentorship or learning that's happening between the two of you. All right, right here beneath me, we got Elias.
Hello. So my name is Elias. I am currently a senior at Franklin High School in New Jersey on the East Coast. So we're kind of scattered apart. But I started tech approximately 8 years ago, learning HTML, CSS. And ever since then, I'd always been fascinated. I did robotics practically from 6th grade up until last year. So, tech has always been a big part of me. And up until last year, I was introduced to hackathons, and I was just like, my school doesn't have one, so I kind of want to leave something for them. That way they can continue on and, bring more people into the world of computer science and things like that.
That's really awesome. So you want to leave a legacy for others. That's exactly amazing. All right. Yep. So that's a little bit about each of you. Now, let's see. What's the best way to tie this all together? I think, Scotty, you were going to share your screen and show us the website for the Civic Code. I think that's a great place for us to start, because I know that every single one of you have worked together to get all of your events together on that same page. So I'd love, let's put it up, Scotty, and let's show people what y'all have been working on.
Yeah. So as I mentioned, the Civic Code is a series of events which allows us to do a few things. This past weekend on Martin Luther King Jr. Day weekend, we had a conference. We had a lot of speakers coming in from various places. A lot of times, try to talk about choices they made, in school, in their careers, how to get to where they are. So from there, listeners can find out how can they apply lessons from their own lives to get to where they want to be. And then coming up, we have a series of workshops called the Learnathon, and that's the same weekend as Elias's high school hackathon, FHS Hacks. And then 2 weekends after that, we'll have Dunni's hackathon, which is color hacks. And then the last weekend of February, that's going to be the HBCU hackathon, which will also allow high school students. So if you're a high school student, you can actually submit a project 3 times. And we actually would encourage whatever you build, go ahead and feel free to continue building it through the month of February. So you don't just build it once and forget about it. And
gotcha. So that's a little bit different than the normal sort of hackathon format where you have to make it all on site and you're not supposed to like bring something that you've already started, right? So I really like this idea of extending it out, and like it kind of gets to the growth mindset and iteration and improving on what you've already worked on, instead of maybe thinking, oh, it was a failure or it didn't succeed the way I wanted in 24 hours, which is not a shock, but to really like dive into it and keep going. I like that you created that. So this are these the interviews that have already happened, or are these interviews right here that we see on screen, are these upcoming interviews?
So most of these have happened. If you hover over the person's name, if it goes to a YouTube link, it's happened. If it goes to their personal website, LinkedIn or something like that, it's coming up.
Okay.
Some of it is, we want to make sure that everyone is able to give their talks at their best condition. And so, trying to be flexible.
Now, I see a familiar name on this list, so I'm going to jump down. Elias, did you give your talk already?
I did give my talk. We had an excellent time last week. I believe it was Friday, Scotty, and we talked about my journey through tech and my personal life. So
awesome. So Scotty, you helped organize that first weekend, but I'm curious, Dunni and Elias, have you attended any of the other interviews or speaker sessions? And if you did, I would love to hear which one was your favorite or felt most impactful to you.
So for me, I personally watched Brandon Long's interview. I believe it was Brandon Long, or sorry, it was Richmond, right, Scotty? Yeah, Richmond. I watched his because I was really interested how software engineers work at AT&T and things like that. So that was one of my favorite ones for sure.
Nice.
Yep.
How about you, Dunni? Were you able to catch one yet?
So the one Scotty actually recommended it for me, so I went ahead and watched it. It's the one like right below my name, Mohammed Kramar, works at Innov Cares. I feel like because after the meeting, I like talked with him, and like all the things that he told me like he did, it seemed like really interesting. And Scotty himself, he also told me like I should watch it because of so reasons. And I watched it, and it was like probably one of, because I also watched the other twos, like the ones before me, so like I could know what I'm supposed to say or what I'm supposed to do. It's like after watching his was most likely, was definitely the favorite.
Okay, so like you said, your name is on that list as well. So you watched some before you did yours. Did you feel that helped? And what was the topic that you spoke about?
I feel like it did help, but like at the same time, like as soon as I just started the interview, it just happened. Because like at first I was nervous, and like as soon as it started, it just went. I just went with the flow, and like we just basically just talked about like my journey and like the struggles and the things that I've been through, and like how just basically like how I've advanced and from like beginning of like the grind and to now, and like what I'm hoping to do in the next few years. And yeah.
Nice. And so both of you've already done yours. You've got those video links up there in the Twitch chat. I've dropped a link to the Civicode website so that people can find those links there. Also, I'm going to encourage all of you to drop the direct links to your videos in our Discord as well, just to make it even easier for folks to find your videos. But of course, we want everyone to come check out all of these awesome interviews. So Scotty, I would love to hear the story of the development of the Civicode, because I'm a little bit biased in the sense that I kind of know a little bit of some of it because you and I have been talking over the last few months as you've been putting things together. But what I'm really curious to hear is sort of the journey for you and your organizing team and how it has grown and sort of culminating into this partnership that you have put up with Dunni and Elias, and how the three of you have been working together.
Yeah, so I'd like to mention we do have a few other team members where they don't have their own hackathons coming up quite yet. And, there's Ashley Ragosa and her friend Kanisha Goyle, a couple others on the team as well. And then Dunni also has a couple friends who, if you go to the Color Hacks website, colorhacks.org, you can also see his friends are involved as well. The main thing is, my nonprofit Tech Tree Root, we've been doing this for some time. We have board members and stuff like that. But we decided with the pandemic to try to get to a point where we could start mentoring high school students, because if you were in high school, you're trying to figure out how to get to college, and suddenly you don't even know if you're going to be on campus or not. It's not like if you're in college, all right, maybe I just take a gap semester, or maybe I have enough college experience to go get a job or something like that. And we really want to say, all right, how do we help high school students? But beyond just helping them, saying, how do we empower them? And, thankfully through you, Jordan, got connected to Dunni and Elias and Ashley, just talk to them initially, and it turned out, they're interested in creating hackathons. Okay, well, that's what I do. I'd be glad to have you guys on the team, mentor you. Just in general, what is it that I do? What do I do well? Learn that. What do I not do well? Improve on that, and basically just passed on. And then at the same time saying, hey, look, all the different events that you see on this website, this does feed into not just one hackathon, it can feed into other hackathons. So feel free, take ownership of this the same way, feel like it, that you own this as much as I do. Mm-hmm. Because although it feeds into a hackathon I'm trying to put together, this also feeds into your hackathon. And just really be able to pass on a lot of this experience, the PM skills I've picked up over the years, the organizational leadership skills, just being a person in general, just saying, all right, work with me directly, not for me, but with me, and just really get in depth, learn what makes me me, and try to be better than that. Obviously, more to compare yourself to yourself, day to day, not like, compared to Scotty, but just being able to say, okay, here are things that he can teach me. Here are things I can teach him.
Right. All right. Now, Elias, I think you were the first of the three of you to connect up with Scotty. Is that right?
Yeah, I was.
What was it like for you planning beforehand versus afterwards? Was it a night and day experience, being able to share and collaborate resources?
Well, before meeting Scotty, and for clarification, we had met at the community showcase. I had no idea what I was going to do. I hadn't really given it much thought, to be fair. But after meeting with Scotty, we had a few meetings. This was back in like October, November. We kind of like set a rough plan of what we would do, and then after the New Year's, when we like started putting everything into motion, contacting different people in my school as well, getting it approved, because getting it approved was one thing. So it became really, really smooth after working with Scotty. I could say that for sure.
Nice. Yeah. How about for you, Dunni? I know the connection there was a little bit more recent, but I'm excited to hear sort of what that experience has been like for you, working with a larger group of multiple events.
So basically, like what Elias said, like joining with Scotty made it a lot smoother, because I was also like, I initially like planned my hackathon to be like from December. And like I was planning on it. I started planning on it in October. So I have like 2 months to plan a whole virtual hackathon, which I've never done before. And I thought I could do it. And I was doing it by myself. Like I didn't have nobody on my team. I had nobody. Like the only person that was helping me was my brother. And like I had too much. I had my mouth full. I couldn't really like do that much. So like I ended up having to postpone it. And then as soon as I started like reaching out to sponsors, I got in touch with you, and got me in touch with Scotty, and then just through that, just been made. He's like, he's helped me like guideline, like what I'm supposed to do, like give me a focus of what I'm supposed to do, like in these coming weeks. Okay, get this done. Next week, get that done. Because like before, I was just like, my head was just all over the place. It was just, it was a mess.
An event of any kind is a lot to run, and a hackathon is like a whole other beast. I'm actually curious, for both Dunni and Elias, how many hackathons had each of you attended before you were inspired to start your own event?
For me, physical hackathons, I had attended 3, virtual 31.
Yeah. 31 virtual hackathons. Okay, now I have to ask a clarifying question, which is over what time period? So maybe that's a good question. what was the first hackathon you attended? Like, how old were you? Where did you find out about it? What got you hooked into the world of hackathons? Because if you think about it, like, of all the kinds of events or things that somebody can go to, it's not like
Mhm.
I go to a restaurant and think, wow, I'm gonna go start a new restaurant this year. And it's not like I go to a concert and think I'm gonna start a whole like concert venue next year. So like what was it about the hackathon that
Mhm.
like got to you and got you sort of your spirit up to tackle it and create one yourself?
Okay, so last year I was a junior and I had switched schools. And my teacher, I was in a computer science class. My teacher recommended that I attend a hackathon. And I was like, oh, what's that? She said, oh, it's a coding competition. Now that struck my eye because I had been programming for quite a while. So just like, so I get to win prizes for coding. I like that. So I attended my very first one, uh, December of 2019, and then we didn't win, even though I believed our project could have won first place. Um, and then after that, I met a group, that same hackathon, that I've worked with ever since then. Um, and then so I guess my journey between hackathons is between December and the most recent one I would say is maybe August of 2020. Um, and I think the best thing for me is the fact that I get to create code that could potentially be business ideas. You know, especially during the time of COVID, a lot of these hackathons, their tracks were COVID related. So for me, my group, we created things to make traveling safer during COVID, how to communicate with your doctor through
Mm-hmm.
COVID, um, how to shop through COVID, and these are like the products we would create.
Right.
And
Wasn't
and
your Safe Travels, was that the name of it that we saw from you at the
mhm,
showcase? Yep. Yeah, that was a great
yep.
project.
Yeah, that's one of the many projects that we've done. And one of ours, actually, we were given the chance to research the project and you know, talk to nurses and see whether this is a something that's actually doable and we could put into the market. So I feel for me, like, hackathons are, yes, hackathons are more, you know, to have fun, code and stuff like that, but they could also turn into something much more in the future, for sure.
Awesome. So was that the sort of like the potential part? Was that what made you feel like you wanted to create that experience for more of your peers to have that opportunity?
Exactly. I wanted to show them that there's more to computer science and coding than what they usually see on the surface.
Hmm. Awesome. All right, so 31 virtual hackathons. There's a lot to fit
Yeah,
in.
it is.
Clearly, you got the bug for it, and it sounds like
Yeah.
it's been working for you, getting on that hackathon project code grind, getting all those awesome ideas out there. And I
Yep.
think you're right. There's something about a hackathon that like everyone is in the room or in the virtual space and they're all energized, because sometimes you have an idea for something and it just is only ever an idea, and sometimes you have to have that dedicated space. It's
Mhm.
it's like going to the gym, right? You go to the gym to lift weights, and the hackathon is kind of like where you go to like work out your app ideas or your
Yeah.
projects or new ideas that you have, new tech stacks that you want to use. I think that's one of my favorite things about hackathons is every single one is different. They all have different themes, like you said, different tracks. I would say the hackathon community is so responsive to the needs of the world, and just like this series of events here is related to Black History Month and inspiring more people to dive into the world of technology. I judge and mentor at other hackathons, and I think that's one of the things that I love most about working with organizers of hackathons and attendees of hackathons is that people really bring a spirit and a belief that we have the ideas. We know how to solve these problems. We just need the time and the space to dig into it, and make it happen. And that all of these ideas are coming from young people who have the energy and the vision to do what we need to do. Scotty, I see you smiling up there. Do you have similar sentimental feelings about hackathons?
Yeah, because one thing that really impressed me is Dunni and Elias, Ashley, they all mentioned in some way at some point that one big reason why they want to create a hackathon also is to leave a legacy, you know, to impact people that come after them. And one reason why I came back, because, you know, I used to work at Make School, you know, I was there with you. And one reason why I came back to Texas is because I grew up in small towns. The information flow is very restrictive. I'm highly aware of, not just highly aware, I grew up with people who, you know, a lot of times you kind of, you know, wonder, oh, why aren't more people on the internet? Why aren't they more into coding and this and that? And, you know, those are things that I grew up with. And, or I guess, you know, I grew up with people like that. And so I felt, you know, for me to have been able to get out of a small town, to go to Duke and to do all these things I've done, I had to come back at some point and pave those roads, because how many people can blaze a trail in their lives? Most people need some kind of mentorship. And thankfully I got enough of what I needed. So I felt it was important to come back and pave those roads. And now I'm in the position to say, all right, who wants to do that as well? You know, okay, here's some high school students that want to pave these roads, and they're doing it while they're in high school. It's not like me coming back later. They're doing it right now. So I thought, you know, that desire to give back, to leave a legacy, to say, here's a paved road, so you can come along with me right away. You know, I really wanted to be a part of mentoring that process as well.
Awesome. Yeah, I think, yeah, like I said, it's just kind of a theme. Hackathon organizers are not doing it because organizing an event at that scale is like necessarily fun in its own right. But I think we love it for the event itself and those magical moments that we see. Dunni, I wanted to get back to you. I want to find out how you got into the hackathon world. You've mentioned a few times you have an older brother who's really supportive and a big part of your life and helping get you into technology. So I'd love to hear as well, like, by chance, did he take you to your first hackathon? Is there any sort of family story behind it?
Yeah, so essentially, like, when he started going to hackathons, I think I was like a sixth grader, and like I remember he'd always go to these cool college, we'd always drop him off at these cool places, and he'd come up with all these cool prizes. I'm like, dude, I want to do all this, and like, I started like coding at seventh grade, and like I was like, dude, you're winning all these cool prizes for something that I like to do. I just sit down in my laptop for like 20 hours straight and just code. Like, you're winning prizes for this. Like, I want to do it, but like I was too young. And the thing was that like last year, 2020, I was like, I wanted to go to hackathon, but I couldn't because I was too young. And then he was like, why not just create your own hackathon? I was like, honestly, that sounds like a really good idea. And like one of the hackathons I've only attended like one virtual hackathon. And that was because I didn't do it. Well, it kind of sounds messed up, but like I didn't do it because I wanted to experience the hackathon itself. I just did it because I wanted to see how a virtual hackathon is playing so I can use it for my hackathon itself. So yeah.
All right, what I'm hearing are a lot of awesome things there, which is like, you know, Elias has a lot of experience and, you know, wanted to create one of his own. And what I'm hearing from you is that's like the maximum entrepreneurial spirit. You were like, there's a thing that I want. For some reason, it is not being marketed to me or it is not available to me. So beep, I'm just gonna freaking make my own, right? Like, that is amazing. And then you went out and you did market research by spying on another hackathon. All right, that's amazing. I'm really excited to see what's gonna come from any project you ever work on, Dunni, because I could see you know the secrets of getting it up and running. So my question then is, from your different kind of experience, a different insight into the hackathon, when you came at it with that perspective, knowing that your goal was to learn from it as an event organizer, I'm curious, what was your takeaway from seeing how that other virtual hackathon ran?
Literally, it's so simple. Like, the takeaway I took from that, it's not as hard as it is. Because when I first started planning the color hacks, I was like, dude, there's so much to do. Like, sponsorship, how am I gonna manage like 250 people or even more? How am I gonna do all this? And like, I went to the hackathon I went to, by the way, was Make SPP. I don't know if anybody has been to that, but yeah, it was really
Oh yeah, Make SPP. Really, yep.
Yeah, I met some really cool people there. But it was like it just seemed a lot more simple to me. And like when I came out of there, like I took some notes and like I made like an Excel spreadsheet of like things I need to do, and it just dumbed it down for me, to be honest. It just made it a lot easier than it was.
I think that like one of those, it sounds like the experience that you had is things can be really daunting to imagine in a vague sense. But once you can see a concrete example, even if it's not exactly like the thing you want to make, it makes it a lot easier to be like, oh, I can use this as a template, and then I can tweak things to customize it. I think, full transparency, that is 100% of the reason why I started this show, because I want this to be a place where we can show people all the things that are possible, and that it's impressive and it's challenging and it's not necessarily easy to accomplish these things, but it's also not as hard as it seems like they are once you get going. I think there's always this big disconnect because it is an achievement 100%, but that doesn't mean that the first step is hard. And as long as you just take the next step, anyone can accomplish amazing things, whether that's organizing an event or tackling a project and building it from scratch, right? Every app was an idea at some point, and there's a lot of just little steps along the way. Awesome. So that's really great. So I want to make sure that, we started a little bit late, my own organizational skills, first time show, but I want to make sure that we have enough time at the end of the show here in these last few minutes to talk about the upcoming events in the series. So Scotty, I see you have the page here. We're already looking at the February 5th through 7th weekend. I know. So we've got the Learnathon and FHS Hacks. Scotty, do you want to give us really quick, like, what's the 1-minute pitch for the Learnathon? And then we'll go down to Elias to talk about how the FHS Hacks fits in with that. And so, for example, like, I'm someone who is free that weekend. I kind of want to get a sense from both of you, like, what's the best way to get the most use out of this weekend and have a great time?
Yeah, so the Learnathon is basically just a series of workshops. If you think of it this way, a hackathon, it's a tech conference, career fair, entrepreneurship competition, and pitch competition. And part of that means when I have speakers like we did for the conference, well, where do I learn the skills? That's why we set up the Learnathon as its own separate weekend. So you have the time to go through. It's not on site, it's online. So by putting this online, by recording it, you can go at your own pace. And so
can we click on that, Scotty, and see what some of those workshops are going to be?
Yeah. So Elias will be teaching something. Ashley will be doing it as well. And then Jordan, we're figuring out something for Make School.
Oh, it's going to be a machine learning Is it the machine learning workshop?
Yeah, actually, I was going to keep it kind of a mystery for now. But yeah,
Briante, spoiler alert.
Yeah, I saw Aldrin Briante on the Discord. I'm guessing he's in the audience now, and yeah, he's going to be teaching something.
Awesome.
And then so here's Ashley. She's going to be talking about the ethics of AI, which for me, I was thinking, wait, what? It's like iRobot. The 3 rules of robotics, Isaac Asimov. So yeah, it's really interesting. And then
there's that beautiful face, Scotty. Digital deserts. Okay, yeah, that sounds like that's related to what you were saying earlier about your experience of coming back to your sort of hometown, home turf in Texas.
Yeah, because right now most people watching this, if I say, hey, just Venmo me real quick, okay, cool. Where in Texas, until maybe the end of 2018, it was, even in Dallas, the most dynamic city in this part of the U.S. If I said, hey, just Venmo me, people were like, sorry, what was that? Oh, just there's an app you can send me money. And say, oh, are you talking about your bank transfer? It's like, you know what? Let's figure this out some other time. and so it's not that people don't want to learn this stuff. It's just the information flow is very restricted out here. It's not as dynamic. And so a lot of it is, how do we increase access for people to digital technology, digital know-how, stuff like that.
Right. And I think part of the solution are events and virtual opportunities like this and the events that you all are putting on. Awesome. So it sounds like, Scotty, each of these events, these talks, are these going to be like panel style? Are they like maybe TED Talk style? Like, should the audience like be there, or are these things also going to be videos that people can watch later?
Yeah, so we're gonna live stream it, but it will also be on YouTube. And we are talking to some people about doing panels. So the ones we've put on the website so far are more kind of, one or two people teaching it, but we are looking into adding some panels. So we're gonna start populating this pretty quickly because we actually have other workshops that are coming from FHS hacks,
Mhm.
because the Learnathon, beyond just being the workshops, it's also combining the workshop portion for FHS hacks.
Gotcha. Well, then
So
that sounds like one of those excellent
yeah,
segues to jump it down. Yeah, Scotty, take us to that page, and Elias, hit us with the
yeah.
details. 12 days,
Yes.
9 hours, 11 minutes, and 33 seconds away.
Yep. So FHS Hacks is my high school's first annual, because we plan to make this an annual event every year.
Great.
So if you scroll to the About section, um, you can kind of see what this event is, a little bit what a hackathon is for those who don't know. And then if you scroll down, you'll be able to see the schedule, and you're able to see every workshop we have. Unlike Scotty's hackathon, we wanted people to see what the hackathons are, so that it brings attention. And so every day we have a different workshop, and we have it structured where the first day is beginning, those that are new to programming. The second day is more intermediate to advanced. We structured it so that, you know it, we kind of like babying them through the steps of programming and things
Yeah,
like that.
it's if this is the
Yeah.
first hackathon in your area, I'm like, again, just hearing a lot of great empathetic design choices here, right? Because you don't
Exactly.
want to assume that they already know everything about a hackathon. You want to bring them in,
Yeah.
you want to get them excited, you want to show them the way. I really love
Exactly.
that. And
Yeah.
I wanted to ask if you, I mean, weekend's coming up soon. Is your high school excited? Is there a buzz? Like, what's the reception been from your student population about the first ever hackathon that you're putting together for their school?
My principal was very, very excited about what the club is doing. Bringing in new people into this world, into the tech world, and in fact, he's sending out a blast message about our events to all parents, so that like everyone is aware about this. So
Awesome.
it's very exciting. It's new. So our principal is very open to new ideas. That's the best part. So really getting it approved was, I think, the easiest part. The hardest part is
A little gem of a phrase there. The hardest thing is getting the word out.
yeah.
Scotty, with your years of event and hackathon experience, how true is that statement? And what are, like, it sounds like Elias is doing the right thing, connecting up with the staff at the school to spread the word. Are there any other tips? We've got a few weeks to boost up this hackathon. Let's overwhelm them with attendees. How do we do it?
So one thing is definitely whoever can help broadcast it. You ask for them to help. And then one thing that I've always done, leading up to the hackathon, the last couple of days before, and this does take a lot of time and effort. And you could say, why not just use something like MailChimp or mass email? But what I've done in the past is I will go through every single email address I've gotten. I will copy paste an email, but when possible, I'll add something personal. I'll say, hey, specific person's name, but then maybe, yeah, it was great talking to you, or it's great seeing you last year. And I've had people come to these hackathons, because Texas is massive, and we have people coming from
It's a
Oklahoma,
relatively
Arkansas.
small state. I think you're exaggerating, but go ahead.
Well, compared to most states, yeah, yeah. But we have seen people show up to all of these different college hackathons I put on, and a lot of them will seek me out and say, "Thank you for inviting me personally." And I'm sure most people can tell, it's probably just copy paste email. But what stood out to them is that when they see from Scotty to, wait, to just me, and everyone is saying, yeah, I got one from him too. Then they're saying, wait, he went and emailed a lot of us individually. A lot of people feel like that, even if you're just sending a copy paste email, the fact is that you directed that attention towards them, even if it's brief. And they understand that you don't have time to email everyone a long conversation, but they really feel valued because they got that one person's email. They got that one email to themselves saying, hey, love to have you here. Free food, free swag, opportunities to get hired. So come in and just do whatever you can, you know. And then when they show up, I'd be sure to go around and just chat with them, talk to them. Hey, can I help out? By the way, I'm teaching this workshop. It's going to be iOS. I would just teach them whatever I could. And then, you know, when it gets late at night, you know, I go around and just make sure, hey, everyone get enough food? You warm? Who needs this and that? Oh yeah, you can go back to your dorm, hack from anywhere. You know, just make sure to come back at this time for a bunch of bagels or donuts or whatever it is. Just make sure everyone feels like, yeah, you know, it's a hackathon, but it's also, you know, just having fun.
What I'm hearing from you, Scotty, is that relationships are really what matters, right? And I think that's so true, right? People can tell the difference between a BCC where you could have sent it to one person, you could have sent it to 1,000 people, and the effort it takes to send a custom message. And I think that's one of the things that I have also seen is really effective when it comes to encouraging beginners and people that haven't experienced it yet, is a personal message or DM that says, I see you, I know that you're awesome, I know that you have the skills to do this, and I think you would build amazing things. I hope you can join me at this event, right? That feels like a personal invite because you want them at your event. And like, there's a lot of confidence issues or like feeling like, oh, I'm not right for a hackathon. But like, if someone says, I want you there, let me bring you into this world and show you around, I think that yeah, like it makes a huge difference. Like you said, Scotty, people say thank you for inviting me because they, you know, sometimes, you know, you just need that extra invite, that extra little nudge, that little reminder, right? Sometimes we have best intentions. Oh yeah, I want to go to a hackathon, but if you don't remind me the night before and get me excited about it, you know, I might sleep in, stay up late watching the YouTubes. Yeah, great advice there. Dunni, what works for you as an attendee of an event? Let's flip it the other way. What gets you to go to an event? What gets you excited about something?
I feel like, honestly, I don't know. Like, actually, yes, I do. Prizes. If I see like the prize is pretty cool, I probably want to go to it. I probably want to go to it. And like, if I see like it's a like one of the things that I look for is like if it's like welcoming. Like, I don't want like, yeah, I might be a competitive person, but I don't like if I'm trying something for the first time, I don't want something that I'm gonna go to and like after I'm not gonna like feel too good about it because I just got shut down like immediately. Like I look at like how welcoming it is and like obviously the process and just like if it's something I'm actually interested in or if it's something I see that, you know, if I come out of it, I'll know more than I did when I came into it, then yeah, for sure.
Awesome. Scotty, can we go back to the main Civic Code page here? Just a few minutes left, and I want to make sure. Let's scroll down to the next weekend, third weekend, Color Hacks. All right, let's check it out. Is that website up to date? Oh, that looks great.
Yes.
All right, Dunni, give us the pitch. Why should we all be booking our third weekend of February for Color Hacks?
So basically, like I said earlier, like, you know, I feel like it was my responsibility to get back to my community and get them introduced into this. So basically, Color Hacks is like it's like a way to pave. It's paving the way for like people who want to get involved in the world of tech, most directly to high school students from underrepresented backgrounds, like it says in the title under there. So basically, kids like me who weren't as lucky as I am to, you know, get introduced into the world of tech, understand how it is. Color Hacks is basically just like to get them to understand what tech is about, you know, make them excited about tech, you know, get them ready for the world of tech. And the schedule's it's a work in progress right now, but as I get more like sponsors and like more people to apply for workshops and stuff like that and office hours, then yeah, I'll update that. But yeah, so far that's about it.
Awesome.
And if you scroll down, like there's like the themes and stuff of like what your project can be based off of. And like when I update the website with the prizes and stuff, I like most like other sponsors and stuff, they're gonna want to like they have like specific prizes and like the specified prizes and stuff like that. So yeah, so we have 3 sponsors so far. We'll get there. We'll get there.
Awesome. So what I'm hearing then is if you're looking to sponsor bright young students starting first annual hackathon for their community, reach out to Dunni, get connected. help him out. Dunni or Elias or Scotty, are any of you still looking for any other kinds of sponsorship or event support? Do you need volunteers? Do you need mentors? Do you need judges? Do you need speakers? Do you need prizes? How can members of the community, apart from attending the event, what would really help you turbocharge the event?
No, I would say the biggest thing right now, with especially with Elias Hackathon coming up so quickly, unfortunately, their school has some scheduling stuff. They had to do it right away, and sponsorships would be a huge boost. And I think from there, stuff like if we need more office hours, that'd be really useful as well. And then judges, I would say sponsors, mentors, and judges. Those would be the three biggest things. And definitely we'll keep pushing participants, marketing stuff. So any support there would be great, but definitely sponsors, mentors, and judges would be the three biggest things. And the speakers and workshops, we can share with, we record them ahead of time, and then, the Learnathon, that's the workshop portion for FHS hacks. It fills the same need for color hacks, and same thing for the HBCU hackathon. But then there's also a lot of lead up time to the hackathon. So, just trying to make sure that Elias gets what he needs right away. Make sure Dunni gets what he needs right away.
Awesome. Yeah, and that's one of the tricks of event organization, is just like, what's the next thing? What's coming down the track soonest? Let's get that one banged out of the way. Awesome. So I want to wrap up with this last minute. I would love to give each of you a minute, and Scotty, I'm going to hold you to that minute. I might set a timer, because sometimes your minutes are 3 minutes long. Looking at you. I want to give everyone here a minute to sort of look into the camera and share advice. Like, what do you want to tell to the people coming after you, the people that you hope to inspire to start their own project or go to a hackathon? What is the call to action, or the invite to action, that you want to send out to the community? So I want to go from top to bottom on my screen. So I want to kick it off with Elias.
For me, well, I have two things. For me, the first thing is build something, anything, just build something. Now, of course, it has to be something that you're interested in, and, just to dip your feet in it. For me, I'm a self-taught programmer. I've never taken a single course. And the two resources that I use the most every single day is YouTube and Google. Those two have taught me how to publish an app on the App Store, how to build websites, applications, things like that. That's the first thing. The second thing is network with people. That's also one of the best ways to learn. You might learn how to practically build anything from meeting someone. I didn't know how to run hackathons until I met Scotty. So I think those two for me are the most important things. And that's what I would say to give back to the people in a way.
All right. So build things and make connections. I think some people get scared by the networking word, but I think as long as you're making connections and building relationships with people you share interests with, networking is hopefully not so scary. All right, Dunni, hit us with what is the top tips you got for us?
To be honest, I feel like the one that's kind of like resonated with me for a while is just like I said earlier, like, it's really not as hard as you think. Like, getting there might be hard, but like as soon as you start it, I promise you're not gonna want to stop, and you're not gonna stop until you get what you most likely want. And like Elias kind of stole my idea on this one, but like network people, like having people to like help you out, it's great. Like it comes in handy like in a lot of situations. Like I couldn't, like, where I am with Club Hacks, I would not have been there if not for my brother or Scotty or like the other sponsors that I've done and stuff. Like there's like I would be lost. Like I'd probably have given up by now, to be honest with you. It's like just try to make sure you have people there to help you out, and also like try things. And obviously you're gonna thank yourself later, because like earlier in my life, like my brother would tell me like, okay, dude, just do these stuff. You just do it. Like in 7th grade, my brother had me take the ACT as a 7th grader. I mean, I ended up getting a pretty good score. And like now, like it just like, it paved way for so many things that I've achieved. Now I look back on, I'm just like, dude, what the heck? This is so crazy. Like I was telling Scott the other day, like all the things that my brother has told me to do over like the past like half a decade, like they're all connected. And if I haven't done those things, these things won't be as easy as they are now. So yeah. Just
It
make
sounds
sure
like
you.
we would all be so lucky to have your older brother. It sounds like
Yeah, to
he's
be honest, you would. You would
yeah.
be.
Well, you know
You would be.
what? I'm gonna talk to you, Zuni. I'd love to have a show with you and your brother to come on
Yeah, I
and
think he's
share.
planning on talking during Color Hacks about like DEI and stuff like
Awesome.
that. So yeah.
Awesome. That would be amazing. Awesome. So, getting kind of the same vibe from you as well. Basically, dive in. It's not as hard as it thinks. Once you get in there, kind of maybe the sink or swim mentality, and then again, get support. You don't have to do it alone. You can. You know what? There are some people they can do it alone, but it's so much easier, so much more fun, so much more rewarding. I think to accomplish more together. All right, Scotty, closing comments. Do you share the sentiments of Dunni and Elias down below? Is it all about the people, the network?
Yeah, definitely. For me, a lot of it was growing up, just the teammates I had in basketball, the friends I had in Arkansas, the friends I had in Texas. Getting to Duke, having my classmates really just be positive influences, getting to make school and really just being able to find out that tech isn't just tech. It is about the people. And just all the different times and places I've been, a lot of times when I didn't know what to do, I would just follow the example. And what I told Dunni, Elias, Ashley, all the others is imitate until you can innovate. If you don't know how to do what you're trying to do, then just pick any example, follow that, do the best you can, and then say, all right, now how do I improve on that? And that's, like I said to them, look at what I do well and learn that and then improve on it. And stuff I don't do well, just go improve on it right away. Be better than what I can be, be a better version of yourself. So I would say definitely anyone who's thinking, what do I do? Well, find a way to imitate until you can innovate. Um, if you're able to reach out to the person you're trying to innovate, definitely feel free to reach out to me. As Jordan mentioned, my minutes are usually 3 minutes long. I'm always happy to talk your ear off. So definitely, if you want to learn from me directly, I'd be glad to help out. If you prefer Dunni or Elias or Ashley, who hopefully when her hackathon's ready, she'll be able to come on with her show. Reach out to any of us. I think the
So
big thing.
so actually, Scotty,
Yeah.
to take that invite to the audience, and I can help make it a little more concrete. And I would say I'm going to invite everyone to the Discord. I know the three of you have been invited to our Discord, and I'd love if the three of you, sort of right after we finish the call here, to have each of you post, an invite to your LinkedIn, or if you want to share your email, or post a blurb about the mentors, or if you're still looking to bring people onto your team, right? I would love to create a space for that on the Discord right after, and help connect you up with more of the community.
Yeah, definitely. Be glad to connect with anyone.
Awesome. Well, all teasing aside, Scotty, your 3 minute long 1 minutes, they're almost always worth it. So it's a lot of good content in those 3 minutes. I thank you
Yeah.
for your time, Scotty. I thank you for your time, Elias. I know it is an extra special day that you joined us.
Yeah.
You got a family birthday. So again, thank you for taking the time out of your day to come here and talk about all of this amazing work the three of you are doing. Dunni, so glad to have you here. I'm so excited to hear how it goes as Color Hacks progresses. And I know I'm going to be staying in touch with all of you over the coming weeks. Is there, other than having people join the Discord to reach out to all of you, Scotty, is there like one email, like hello@pacificode.org or anything like that for anyone that we could like share out as like a single point of contact for all of you?
Yeah, you can go to the civic code at techtreeroot.org, and we'll also post that in the Discord.
Okay, great.
I think that's the best way to reach all of us at the same time.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you all so much. Thank you to everyone who's tuning in again on the live stream or watching this video later. I hope that you got a few little gems of wisdom, or you're feeling inspired hearing these stories and seeing what you can accomplish. All of these great events, from 3+ people, right? We know that everyone here representing their team, they have a crew behind them, they have people supporting them at their school, their friends, their other community members. So I think that's my takeaway from today, is build that community of people that want to help you succeed, they want to help you do amazing things, and then go out there and dive into it, because you can achieve it. All right, so would the three of you like to join me in doing like a little kind of like wave to the camera? We'll say bye.